Markets drop all the way to the downside and liquidate over $300 million. And the reason for this very sharp drop, and market is recovering right now, is because of this very information right here. Okay, President Trump just threatened a 50% tariff on the EU, pointing to the fact that they are having difficulty in making a trade deal with them. Let's discuss this in detail in this very video and what this means to all of us as traders. And on the pie price action, market come back down into this very level that we're expecting market to come into. What next for the market? Will market from here move upward or another drop all the way to the downside before the final move to the upside? Let's discuss this in detail as well in this very video. And also on ETH, market come down aggressively as we see that very recommended 50% tariff by President Trump on the EU. From this very point, will the market move upward, or we're going to see the market from this very area come back down before the final move to the upside? And if you look at Solana is reacting very well. Okay, market dropped significantly and right now it has reclaimed back the $182 mark and market is going to move all the way to the upside, in my opinion. Let's discuss all of this in detail in this very video, so watch this video gradually all the way to the very end. One thing we must have to understand is the fact that when the president of the United States tweet about or talk about trade deals, okay, it affects the market positively or negatively. This very one is a negative sentiment, and market is going to drop if that tariff is imposed on the EU. And I'm going to give my thoughts before the end of this very video, so watch along. The most important thing right now is that it is still a recommendation, it is still a proposal, and that is why markets react this much. So think about it. If it's really a deal that the tariff will be imposed, just like you said on 1st June, if it come into play, what the thing is going to happen to the market is going to be very drastic for the market, because the EU combined is the largest trade partner to the United States, followed by China. Okay, considering the EU as a bloc, not individual country. And this is very important, and that is why I believe right now market is going to recover. But if we see that come into implementation on June 1st, then we should see a drastic move all the way to the downside on the price of every other crypto in the market. And this is very important and we need to pay attention to it. So right here where we mark out on this very point is where the market enter into a little shift from it or to this very spike area, and the market is recovering right now. I expect this recovery to come into the market. However, if you follow me on this channel, you notice that I was expecting retracement already within this very area of $113,000 and this area of $111,000 for one Bitcoin. And this is very important. Why? Retracement is not a bad thing in the market. Like I always say, it is good for market to correct or retrace before the next move all the way to the upside, and that is what I am still expecting right now. So market is going to recover a little bit, and then know that we are already in the weekend already, which means market have greater capacity of reacting to the downside, especially following this recommended 50% tariff by President Trump on the EU. So what I'm expecting is for the market to move up a little bit and then still come back down. If market fail to hold at this very point, market is going to come into this very area of $105,000. This is very important. Pay attention to this very information, especially this very area of important support and this very area of important support. I believe they're going to hold the market for the next move to the upside. In as much as this tariff have not been implemented, I believe the market have capacity of moving all the way to the upside, especially because of the one big beautiful bill that is going to move to the Senate very soon, because the House just passed that one beautiful bill that was yesterday or 2 days ago. So this is what you must have to pay attention to, guys, to be in the right direction of the market right now. Market sentiment is very important. Don't rely only on technicals or fundamental. Market sentiment is super important. You need to combine your technical, your fundamental, your on-chain data, in market sentiment. These are the 4 types of analysis we have in any market at all, be it crypto, stock, forex, or commodity trading. So this is what you have to pay attention to. And if you come to the Pi USDT 4-hour chart, you discover that at the very point we are expecting market to come down into is where the market is right now. This is very important, and that is why you need to pay attention to this. What I'm expecting right now is very, very different. I'm expecting market to move up a little bit and still come back to the downside. With the way I'm seeing this very move right here, you discover that market moving all the way from this very point coming back down have significant bearish pressure. For that reason, I'm expecting market to move a little bit to the upside, okay, maybe probably approach this very area, but market should still come back into this very point, and that is when I will consider the fact that this is now good for market moving upward on the price of Pi USDT 4-hour chart. And that is what you need to pay attention to as well, to be in the right direction of the market right now. Because if you neglect this very area where the market is right now and this very zone of important support, then you may be doing the wrong thing. Okay, please pay attention to this. It will help you get where the market is going to go next in line with this market analysis. And this is what I am now looking at right now on this very price action. And on ETH, you discover that as ETH drop, it drops significantly and is not recovering compared to BTC and Solana. So market drop back down and come into our second point of interest. That is why you marking out the right point of interest is very key for you to be in the right direction of the market. That is why I do video like this almost every day, to show you the point of interest in line with current price action, so that with this point of interest you can apply it in your own strategy and figure things out to know where market is going to go next. And that is why this very point of interest is very, very important, and that is where market come back down into after breaking out on this very area. And this is very, very important right now based on this very threat of 50% tariff on the EU. And what I am now expecting is for market to come back a little bit to the upside into this very area, and market should come back down. This is what I'm expecting on ETH. You may have something very, very different, and that's okay, but for me right now, what I am looking at is for market to come back down for retracement. Remember, I have said that this very proposed tariff of 50% have not been implemented, but if it got that implementation on the 1st of June, then it will be very drastic for the market, and I believe they may take some other consideration. So this is what I am now looking at on the price of ETH. Market moving a little bit upward before the next move to the downside, probably into this very area of 2,500, 2,400 per ETH before the next move to the upside. Pay attention to these guys to be in the right direction of the market. And for Solana, you discover that Solana moved very, very fast to the upside, reacting to this news all the way to the downside. And right now, as you can see, market is just moving drastically upward, which means, like I said, Solana have a lot of momentum right now moving upward, and that was why I was expecting the markets keep moving all the way to the upside. I am still expecting Solana on the long term move all the way to the upside, regardless of this very recommended 50% tariff. Okay, since it has not been implemented, I am still expecting Solana to move all the way to the upside, because the market on Sol right now have a lot of momentum moving all the way to the upside, even compared to ETH, in my opinion. And this is what I am expecting right now on Sol. So from this very area, we see a spike and market is moving upward. That means market have capacity of moving all the way to the upside. And even though we see another correction, which is a possibility, market is going to correct into this area and move upward as well. I don't see Solana go below this very area of $170. The possibility is there, but before market cross this very area of 170, then we might have seen a lot of things on price action and rearrange our directional bias in line with what market is doing at that time. So for now, pay attention to market moving upward on the price of Solana, Sol USDT for our chart. Very important. And if you come to coin market cap, it is covered that the market capitalization have dropped a little bit by $500 million right here. Yesterday it was $3.5 trillion global market capitalization. In my opinion, this is just a correction, and also in response to the tariff threats that we see from President Trump today. And this is very important because market is still going to recover all the way to the upside. The fear and greed index have increased a little bit to the downside, making it a 76% greed level. This is very important because when the market gets more greedy, it means that people are rushing into the market because of the high prices. Okay, people want to buy more because the fear of missing out is now setting in, and this is very important. You as a trader, you should not be foaming out and in of trade. Why? Because you should have taken a position long before. Okay, and this is very important. I'm talking about long-term holding. I'm not talking about short-term trade. For a short-term trade, you can look for correction, enter position to the upside, correction, enter position to the upside. Like I say, right now it's not time to look for short opportunity yet in the market. Look for long opportunity all the way to the upside. One important thing here is this very threat from President Trump. If you read this very information carefully, the EU, which is the European Union, was formed for the primary purpose of taking advantage of the United States on trade. This is Trump's opinion. And if you read down to this very area, therefore, I am recommending a straight 50% tariff on the European Union starting on June 1st, 2025. There is no tariff if the product is built or manufactured in the United States. What all of this simply means is that they are actually having a difficult time dealing with the EU. In recent time, about 2-3 weeks ago, JD Vance, which is the vice president, have been going to the EU to negotiate trade deal. Maybe they are not seeing a good sign, okay, compared to other countries, and that is why he is posing these very threats right now, so as to bring the EU to the table. Not only that, to make them to slightly bring down their rules concerning these non-monetary trade barriers, VAT taxes, and ridiculous corporate penalties. All of these have been put into consideration in which they have to make a deal at the end of the day. I believe at the end of the day, a trade deal will be struck with the EU, okay, because it's the largest trading partner with the United States, considering it as a bloc, followed by China, which is an individual country. Now, if you look at that individual country, China is the highest, which is very, very important, and why this is also important to the market. You as a trader, you must not pay deaf ears to this kind of information. This is market sentiment, and people that understand market sentiment know what it is. If this tariff come into effect on 1st of June 2025, market is going to go right down, and that is why you need to be in the right direction of the market. Consider supporting this channel by leaving a like for this video, subscribe if you have not, and turn on the bell notification for more crypto videos like this one. Also check the channel for all that crypto content. Join our Telegram channel, the link in the description of this very video, and also in the pinned comment to receive more updates like this, on-chain data, sentimental analysis, and many more. Link down below. It is a free channel to join right now. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.